So, so in terms of that, hockey's a little bit different than football. And I'll putting now my VAA hat on. I would much rather teach a third grader who has very little body mass and can't hit very hard how to hit properly than wait until they can actually hit hard to try and teach them to hit properly. So if we can teach them how to hit properly before they get into big collisions, then we can do it properly when they are big enough. That's my VAA 2 cents.
Okay.
I was going to ask that. The slide you had from best case to worst case scenario for brain injury.
Yeah.
How long
Yeah.
does it take for your testing to determine one from the other?
Well, with these 4 injuries, you can see them on CT scan. That's why they're in red. These 2 you can't. This one you can't. That's why that's what my research is. So we just got a $2 million grant from Abbott. We got a $125,000 grant from Minnesota State Legislature, and we got a 3rd grant from Hennepin County Medical Center to try and distinguish these using eye tracking, serum markers, and radiographic imaging. So that's what my research focuses on, is how to classify brain injury so that you can treat it. Because it's not trivial. It's not easy. Yes? Yeah, I mean, basically because every brain injury is different and it depends on where they got hit, their symptoms can be extremely variable. So anything that's a change from baseline is something they need to pay attention to, you know. Exactly. You know, the most common symptom is headache. The other most common symptoms are nausea, vomiting, dizziness, and vision problems. But you can have social avoidance as your primary symptom. You can have being bothered by bright lights as your primary symptom, inability to read. And you know, inability to read, it's not like your kid is going to come to you and say, hey, Mom, I have inability to read. They're just not going to do their homework, you know. And so these are things that you have to sort of have like mom sense about, you know. And it's not easy to always figure out when something's wrong. And then you have to take your kid to the pediatrician. But, you know, things like problems with schoolwork, you have to try and figure out why. Yeah, you know, I think you just have to tell them that they have to take brain injury seriously. And, you know, the nice thing is the media is telling people that. You know, people say that, oh, it's terrible what's happened with football in the media. In a sense, it's been good for brain injury and it's been good for kids because now there's so much more awareness. If some kid has a brain injury, not from football, but from something else, like, you know, skateboarding or falling or whatever, they're much more likely to seek medical attention because of football and because of all this discussion that has happened because of the NFL. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. People are now taking brain injury a lot more seriously than they ever have. And so that's good, you know, because then they'll get treated and they'll get better. Okay, thank you.